who has the hot hand as Elena Deladon sets a screen for Wnba.
As far as the aces are concerned, this is what their big four have done.
Liz Cambage has to do a better job defensively. She's done everything else so well. Kelsey Plum, breakout playoffs. She's pushing the ball. Asia Wilson has to make her shots around the basket. And last but not least, the player that has to spread the floor to create the spacing for the post game, Kayla McBride, used a knockdown shot.
Same starting lineups as we had in our last game. Kelsey Plum playing the point for the first time this year in this series, and she has flourished in that role. It is loud at Mandalay Bay, and we are underway. Plum with the ball in her hands. The Aces in black, the Mystics wearing their red uniforms this afternoon. And right away, Asia takes it to Deladon and got fouled.
Early call by Bill Lambier to try to get some confidence in the offensive game of Asia Wilson. She has struggled, did struggle in game 2 of this series. The officials calling a contact foul on that elbow of Asia Wilson. That is one on Elena Deladon, very early one.
Wilson just 8 points, went 3 for 12 from the floor in game 2. Eric Bruton, Cheryl Flores, and Jeff Wooten, our officials this afternoon in Vegas. Natasha Cloud has not turned the ball over yet for Washington, their point guard. Deladon working on Young. Ariel Atkins. Washington has used the three with great effect all season long, leading the league in that category, and they go right back to Wilson. Couldn't hit it this time. Cloud, 14 assists in the series, no turnovers. Almost had one there. Deladon for 3. Miesemann gives it right back to her teammate. And Mike Tebow was talking about just how well Deladon and Miesemann have clicked this year. Miesemann did not play at all last year in the league. Asia.
In the half court, the call right now is go to Asia Wilson. Bill Lambier knows that despite her struggles, he will need her offense and her confidence to be at a high level to win this game.
Miesemann misses her first shot. Hitting 62% from the floor in the first couple of games. And then Miesemann got a hand on that shot by Young. 64% from 3 for Emma coming in. Cloud has one bank off the side of the backboard.
Held by Asia Wilson because Cloud really hurt them when she was able to get 2 feet in the paint in game 2.
Cloud had 18 points and a career playoff high 11 assists in game 2. Latoya Sanders, in and out, was able to hit from that spot effectively in game 2.
Cambage got lucky because Sanders has been spreading the floor, spacing, and causing fits. We talk so much about Wnba spreading the floor. Well, Sanders has been able to do the same in pick-and-roll situations on switches.
Cambage still waiting for the ball to come to her hands for the first time in this game. Calling for it, finally gets it. Cloud came over to help, and a foul.
One of the keys to trying to defend Liz Cambage with a double team is knowing when you can double and when you can't. Right here, Cloud is too late. Liz Cambage has got 2 feet in the paint. She's got deep positioning. If you're gonna go, you gotta go early. And she is working for the ball, asking for it. Cloud also in motion on that double.
Cloud picks up her first personal foul.
And that is a concern for Mike Tebow because his team has consistently picked up fouls and put Vegas on the free throw line in this series.
Yeah, the magic number for him is keeping the Aces below 20 free throws. Wilson blocks Atkins. Jackie Young, #1 overall pick this year out of Notre Dame, misses her first shot. The ball is off of Cloud, so it stays with Vegas.
Asia Wilson has done a great job early in this game of getting down the floor, both in help defense and one-on-one situations, and gets a great block. Perfect timing on that jump shot by Ariel Atkins.
14 seconds to shoot. McBride floats it. McBride had 9 points in game 2, but all of them in the first half. It's a 6-0 Vegas run. That's a hold. Wilson grabbed Sanders, who otherwise would have had a clear path to the basket. Deladon getting ready to throw the ball in. Sanders guarded by Plum on the switch. Gets it out to Cloud, and she missed everything.
Well defended. Very well defended by the Las Vegas Aces. Kelsey Plum does not have the size to contest, so when the double comes over from McBride, she was leaving Cloud open to come and help.
Washington was the highest scoring team in the league this year. Young can't get it to go. Deladon, who has been an improved rebounder this season, can get it and go. Cambage out on Sanders. Deladon draws contact and gets to the free throw line.
Yeah, I thought Washington was going to miss the opportunity to make Vegas pay for that mismatch. You see early what Vegas is doing. They're switching and allowing their guards to defend in the post.
Deladon at 6'5", a tremendous free throw shooter. Actually missed one in her last game after setting the WNBA consecutive free throw streak in postseason. And a big cheer comes up as De'Erica Hamby comes in for Jackie Young.
Bill Lambier giving Jackie Young a chance to see if she's still got some heat from game 2 offensively. She's missed some early, and Hamby always gives them a punch. She also matches up better with the big lineup of Washington.
Hamby, the 6th woman of the year in the league this year. Sweet pass into Cambage, post to post. Hamby drawing the defensive assignment on Miesemann, who really has hurt Vegas in the first 2 games. Now she's on Deladon. Shot clock into single digits. Need a shot. Cloud took steps trying to get around Wilson. That is the first turnover for Natasha Cloud in this series.
Vegas can do more of this. It will be trouble for Washington. Asia Wilson to Cambage at the post-to-post pass. It was high. 6 inches between Latoya Sanders and Liz Cambage. Sanders can't get to it.
Boy, and Sanders and Cambage were battling, and they've gotten Sanders for the foul. That is the first on Latoya Sanders at 6'3", the shortest starting center in the league. And she is a terrific defender, but Cambage at 6'8" is a handful for anybody.
I've got Sanders at 6'2". You must have her without her basketball team.
I got her with the heels. Another foul away from the ball. The officials calling this one close so far. They got Kelsey Plum.
You see Plum
fired up.
Yeah. Not sure if she was talking to her teammate, but she's got stuck on the post on a number of occasions, and you have to think that that's not really what Vegas wants to do by design.
Washington has missed 6 straight shots from the floor. Miesemann floats one over Wilson. So much skill. Emma Miesemann, just 26 years old, even though she was taken back in the 2013 draft, and she was a baby at the age of 19. Cambage from Plum.
Nice push by Kelsey Plum, and that's what she's done so well in these playoffs, is get the ball from one end to the next. On a make, on a miss, she is in attack mode.
Sanders over McBride.
And once again, you see where the ball's going for Washington. Well, that's because off of the screening, Vegas's guards are getting stuck on post.
Miesemann trying to contain Wilson. Tipped by Miesemann to force the turnover. Cloud doesn't have help, so she hangs it up for a while. Now Plum trying to guard Deladon. Atkins. And then Wilson finishing nicely on the other end.
Beautiful pass.
Asia and Liz have combined for 12 of the 14 Vegas points. Sanders backing into McBride, and the ball goes back to the Aces. The two bigs off to a great start for the Aces.
Well, the Las Vegas Aces have already been in a win-or-go-home situation. The last one went their way. They want to extend this series behind their big girls. Liz Cambage and Asia Wilson getting busy. We'll be back. An early lead behind the play of Asia Wilson and Liz Cambage. Bill Laimbeer making the call early in this game to go to Wilson to get her confidence up. And off of that, Liz Cambage also able to get 2 feet in the paint. They're working well together with their connectivity. And moments ago, Kim Adams caught up with Asia Wilson.
Asia, after a tough game 2 for you, you've had an early impact here on both ends. What was your mentality heading into this one?
I mean, we got to go out there and be within our system, and, you know, we just had to go out there and be aggressive, and I'm trying my best to do that.
And Coach said last game too many open shots for the Mystics. What has to be sharper defensively tonight?
Just staying connected, staying attached to them and knowing where they are.
Thanks so much, Asia.
Asia Wilson, the first 3 times down the floor, got shots off. Meanwhile, Liz Cambage now 4 for 4 from the floor.
And Kelsey Plum is making life easy for Liz Cambage, giving her great passes.
Wow, that was called a foul.
Look at this here. Pick and roll situation. Kelsey Plum snakes it, and then on the roll, gets just enough under it to get it to Cambage.
Meanwhile, Elena Deladon back on the line. Dearica Hamby was called for a personal foul and what looked like a pretty good block. And with Deladon on the line, it's almost automatic. The first WNBA player ever to hit 50% from the floor, 40% from 3, and 90% at the line.
It's just hard to be that efficient, in particular when everyone's trying to shut you down. But she has a level of focus, of mental toughness I just have not seen in very many players. Not even all of the great ones have that level.
Cambage misses. Deladon able to get it. Deladon wearing the mask since she broke her nose on July 7th in the first minute of a loss to Los Angeles. Miesemann bottled up. First 3 for Deladon.
Dearica Hamby was sagging in, showing a lot of respect to Emma Miesemann, was not able to recover on the 3.
McBride answers. Deladon back-to-back 3s for the MVP. Second time she has won it. She won it when she was with Chicago 3 years ago. Or 4 years ago, rather. McBride can't answer. And as we've seen, great pace between these two teams in this series. Miesemann had to go high to get it. Cloud drew contact. That could be 2 on Hamby.
You have to credit Las Vegas for how they have given Elena Deladon fits with their defense through the first 2 games of this series. But right here, a little swipe there by Hamby takes a risk, and you cannot give Elena Deladon that much space and opportunity. And in transition, you got to be there or be square. And LaToya Sanders sets a good screen for EDD for 3.
Deladon just 1 of 7 from 3 in this series, 2 for 3 today. Hamby has picked up 2 quick fouls. Natasha Cloud with her first point. She's had a terrific series, averaging 15 points per game. Hamby goes out with the 2 fouls. Tamara Young comes in for Bill Laimbeer.
I mean, Cloud has been outstanding. Could she have done this a year ago? I don't think so. Her confidence and her ability to be aggressive and her passing without error.
Her first turnover of the series earlier in this game. Washington on a 10-3 run. Wilson on Miesemann. Sanders wide open. She's 0 for 2 from out there. McBride picks it up and puts it in after Sanders could not corral the rebound.
I like McBride's mindset right now. You don't hit the first shot, it's by any means necessary. She knows she has to impact the score of this game.
Tolliver's first shot won't go in. McBride stays aggressive, but Cloud got a hand on it. Frantic pace in this game. Little no-look from Tolliver. Sanders now 1 for 5 from the floor. As we're inside a minute, that's a little bit too high and too hard trying to get Cambage.
And that's been the consistent message from Bill Lambier about his team is we have to limit our mistakes. And it's been the turnovers. He said that has been the difference in this series is us just turning the ball over unnecessarily.
And he said Washington is a team you can't do that against. Deladon and Cambage each will sit down for the final 51 seconds.
But I think some of those turnovers are just a byproduct of how fast they want to play. You know, I mean, it's high risk, high reward when you want to really push the ball. And Plum will get a seat, will take a seat right now to the applause of the crowd for the last 50 seconds.
Coach Lambier said turnovers, especially at inappropriate times, have hurt his team. Tiana Hawkins and Ariel Powers in off the bench for Washington. Tolliver put it in, picked up her dribble, looked to be in no man's land, and still buries the three.
Like only Christy Tolliver can do. She is never out of her range, and she is never defended behind the three-point line.
Sat out 5 weeks with a bone bruise and a sprained MCL in her knee. Asia Wilson has had a heck of a first quarter.
Good patience by Wilson. She is dialed in, saw the first defender, but just really aggressive and looking for her offense.
Shot clock off for the Mystics. Tolliver with the switch has Wilson on her. Christie can't go back to back, and now Tamara Young has to throw up a prayer. What a first quarter. Washington, 1 win away from the finals, and we have seen some great play from the great players.
It's the WNBA playoffs. This is where the stars come out. Elena Deladon is trying to finish this thing today in Vegas. Liz Cambage is saying, no way. The Aces looking strong early.
To Las Vegas, joined by Washington head coach Mike Thibault. Coach, 16 combined points early for Wilson and Cambage. How would you like to defend them better?
Well, we got to keep them out of the paint. I mean, they've got, I think, a dozen points already in the paint. That's not good enough. You know, we gave Wilson a foul early, a run out on Cambage one time, offensive rebound. We can't do those. Those are the things that kill us. We got to take care of that.
A hot start for Elena, but how would you like to see everyone continue to be involved on the offense?
Well, we got stuck playing again on one side of the floor. You know, a couple times there were good plays because we make good one-on-one plays, but they're overloading when she catches the ball. It's almost a zone on the one side of the floor, so we're going to have to reverse it and get stuff on the other side like we did for Toya a couple times.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Asia Wilson with another shot that goes in. Only 3 aces scored in that first quarter. It was McBride, Wilson, and Cambage, who actually had 14 paint points, did Vegas.
Keeping them out of the paint is easier said than done. And they both play with a lot of force, especially when Liz Cambage gets ready to back you down.
Ariel Powers gets the bucket. Elena Deladon getting ready to check in. She sat out the last minute of the first quarter for Washington after a hot start. Miesemann had both hands on Asia's shoulders. That's Emma's first. For the latest on all things WNBA playoffs, including scores, news, and highlights, go to the WNBA app. You can download it for free today from your app store. LA hosting Connecticut as soon as we are finished on ESPN2. That basket does not count. Foul away from the shot. on Kayla McBride. That is her second. Connecticut with an emphatic win over LA in game 2. We'll try to put it away later this afternoon in Long Beach. Celadon guarded by Jisoo Park. Shot clock waning. Nice drive by Powers, who really has come alive since coming over in a trade from Dallas last year.
And this is what she gives you, her ability to just make plays one-on-one and her explosiveness in the jump shot and getting to the rim. And there's a problem right now for the Washington Mystics, and her name is A'ja Wilson.
She is hitting from all over, 5 of 6 from the floor. Powers guarded by Tamara Young. Plows in there, and she did walk.
There's just no hesitation with A'ja Wilson right now when she catches the basketball. She's a lefty, so she's always a challenging guard, puts it on the deck and just rises in fire. And that's what she does. That's what she's been doing so well since South Carolina. And look, she's already surpassed her game 2 scoring.
And shooting the ball much better. A lot more confidence again if you're just joining us. They went to her the first 3 times down the floor. Sydney Colson with the miss. Celadon at 6'5", bringing it up. Emma Miesemann on the bench for the Mystics. Washington having some trouble now. Getting close to the basket. Wilson on the switch guarding Tolliver, who doesn't care. She wanted the foul as well. So she's being guarded by Wilson, and it's nothing. Nothing to her.
You hear the comparisons, and I know there are a lot of great WNBA players, but she reminds me so much of Steph Curry and how she creates separation behind screens and her step back.
And the confidence certainly is there. Sugar Rogers, guarded by Hawkins, has to get it back to Colson. Hamby and Plum will come in for Vegas. Celadon, good defense just to poke it away to force Colson to take a last-second shot. Christy Tolliver, what a shooter.
And this is not easy to do when you're recovering from an injury, because to make threes like this, you have to have your legs, but not if you're Christy Tolliver. She's been doing this since her Maryland days, just off of the pounce. Beautiful jump shot. Yes, I did mention Maryland, their alma mater.
She made a 3 against Duke that will go down in history and infamy if you're a Duke fan. Back in the national championship game. That's too tall for Hawkins. Liz is getting up. She'll come back in. Fans wanted a foul on Celadon, but instead they play on. Wilson playing just tremendous basketball so far.
Well, and one thing that happened for Vegas in their favor is that A'ja Wilson and Liz Cambage started off the game so well. But when Liz Cambage has been out of the game, Wilson has even more space and opportunity. And we've talked about that and how they've had to try to build their chemistry all year. And when A'ja went out with an injury, that kind of got them off track a little bit. But that's what we've been looking and waiting for, is that both of them could maximize their games on the floor together.
A'ja Wilson missed 8 games with a hurt ankle. Still playing with the brace on the left ankle. She outjumps Hawkins. Plum right down the middle, then gives it to Cambage, who very patiently waited for all the trouble to go by. Powers into Atkins. Cambage absolutely affected that shot. That's what 6'8" will do.
It starts with the attack of Plum, though. I mean, Washington has not had an answer for Plum off of the bounce really this entire series. Good wraparound pass, and Cambage muscles it up.
And she just swiped it away from Powers, who was trying to get in there. Washington, 13 seconds to shoot, up 2. Washington win ends this series. Vegas wins. We'll be back here Tuesday night. is in the clear. But then Sanders able to sneak in and at least swat it out of bounds. Everybody are on their feet here.
There is something about your pride that kicks in. You are not going to let the 6'8" campaign get a steal and go full court. Woo!
Shot out.
Get them the ball faster. When we set our offense, they're able to set their defense, and they can bring doubles, they can sag in, they can help, and it makes it a lot harder for them, not just to get a clear catch, but to get their rhythm.
And Kelsey has done exactly that. She has gotten the post involved in the offense for the Las Vegas Aces early on their possessions, not allowing Washington to get back, to get set, to get help on the post. And when we talked to Bill Lambier earlier today, we've made mention of the fact that Plum feels like she's playing better because she's exclusively at that point guard spot where Jackie Young has started majority of the season. And he said he didn't start Plum at point guard because he wanted someone to help them get their post-game fluid, a pass-first point guard to start to get Asia Wilson and Cam Bay's chemistry. But you can't keep Kelsey Plum off the floor, period, the way she's playing right now.
She already has 4 assists in this game. Cam Bay's fouled. She was again able to get deep in the paint.
Right here, the ball is being batted around. But look at that. I mean, it's a bullet pass. Plum was an outstanding scorer in college, as you know, the best. And she has grown and refocused and has a better understanding of, yes, she could take every shot. She's a very good shooter. But when she didn't have success about that early, she went to her passing ability.
Well, Pam and LaChina just sitting in on that Las Vegas huddle. Kelsey is showing her leadership. She's talking to the post players in the huddle, telling them how to get open. And we talked to her about where that competitiveness comes from. She came from a family of volleyball players. Her mom and 2 sisters were both Division I volleyball players. Her brother and dad college athletes as well. She said everything was a competition, racing to the car, who can finish their dinner first. And she was actually a better beach volleyball player, she says. Here is basketball for sure.
Wnba just nailed the 3 to give Vegas the lead. In fact, Kelsey Plum made a national beach volleyball team that her sister tried out for. Kelsey basically went for the workout. She made the team, her sister did not. And she said it was not a happy household that day.
Well, and Plum could have folded, right? I mean, she's talked to us before about being picked #1 overall as though she didn't ask for it. It was a late development, she felt like, in her senior season, and everyone was saying she was a bust early. But she's a competitor, so she's done the things that Coach Lambier has asked her to do. She's worked on her defense. She's been more aware of what's happening on the floor, and all those things coming together at the right time.
A deflection. Washington now with 5 turnovers. They only had 6 in each of the first 2 games of this series. Vegas up 3. This is a loud crowd at Mandalay Bay. Miesemann has been kept in check so far. Cloud, extra pass to Deladon. And it goes off of Atkins. Emma Miesemann just 2 points so far in 11 minutes for Washington. It is a 9-2 Vegas run. Miesemann with back-to-back career playoff highs, 27 and then 30 points respectively. And a foul on Cam Beige. 2 quick ones on Liz, who's fired up.
There's been a back-and-forth battle between Liz Cambage and Latoya Sanders in getting position. You would think it was that wraparound. That was the call, but it could have been any number of, I mean, Sanders is pushing Cambage is pushing her. It was about whenever the official decided to put a whistle on it.
Miesemann has had to work for everything. Ball stays with Washington.
And that's a great defensive possession, because how many looks just like that did Miesemann get in game 2 without anyone contesting?
Emma 1 of 3 from the floor, does have 4 rebounds and 2 assists. But not near the scoring threat she was in the first 2 games. That's a chancy pass. Great play by Wnba on the baseline. McBride had it knocked by Atkins, who was called for the foul.
Wnba has done a lot of little things, and in particular on the defensive end, showing a lot of activity. Right here, drops back, gets in the way and saves the possession, but watching her the last few times down the floor, she hit that outside shot, which she hadn't been doing in this series, which is important for Vegas's spacing, but also just being there defensively.
Coming up next, game 2 of our WNBA playoffs semifinal doubleheader. The Sparks hosting Connecticut. Sun up 2-0. Catch the game live on the ESPN app as well, also on ESPN2. That game coming from Long Beach.
The challenge for Connecticut is taking that energy that they get at the Mohegan Sun on the road with them. Rebecca Lobo tweeted about this, but the physicality of Connecticut, in particular, Alyssa Thomas, has been fun to watch.
Deladon misses. Carolyn Swords in the game for the first time. Rebounds. McBride. Timeout, Washington. Vegas with its biggest lead of the night at 8. Liz says, let's go.
Here come the aces. Another great pass by Kelsey Plum and McBride. This ain't game 2. She's in shots.
Kevin Connors in studio, coming up on the WNBA halftime report, presented by State Farm. We'll get you set for our other game 3, this one from Long Beach, California. Sun and Sparks, Connecticut going for the 3-game series sweep. What kind of answers will LA have for Courtney Williams in game 3? She was electric in game 2. And how about Candace Parker? Can she get going in game 3 after just 3 points in game 2? All coming up when you join us at the half. Pam?
All right, Kevin, we will see you soon right here in Vegas. Look what's happened with the Big Four. Kelsey Plum, don't let those zeros deceive you. She's had a great game.
She's been outstanding, and without taking a shot, she's impacted this game in the way that she has run her team, getting into early offense, getting the ball where it needs to be, and that's been with Kayla McBride, Liz Cambage, and Asia Wilson. 5
assists for Plum. Miesemann stuck on 2 points. Vegas on a 14-2 run. This is their biggest lead of the series. Deladon blocked Asia, and the foul on the follow. It's on Miesemann. That is 2 on Emma.
There's been one consistent theme when Vegas has had success in this series is when they get transition offense and when they get into early offense, Washington cannot get matched up defensively. And when there's cross matches or they're not in good, solid position, Vegas will make you pay because they're going to attack you right at the rim.
Epiphany Prince, who did not play at all in game 2 in DC, comes in, the veteran, signed and played the last 3 games of the season. Played for Bill Lambier back at the New York Liberty.
And Bill has played all 12 players in the first half of this game.
Asia Wilson with 14. McBride and Cambage with 12 apiece. Wnba is the only other ace who has scored. She has 5. Deladon, the only Mystic even close to double figures. Sanders has been cold.
Not hitting those same shots she was hitting in game 2.
Usually very solid mid-range for the veteran. Good of Wilson. Washington, usually they do a great job of hanging on to the ball. Led the league with the fewest turnovers. 6 in game 1, 6 in game 2. They already have 8. And we're not even done with the first half today. 7 this quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, Wnba has said they don't make mistakes. You have to beat them, but that's not been the case today.
In fact, Washington in this quarter has scored 10 points off of the 7. Excuse me, Vegas has scored 10 points off the 7 Washington turnovers in this quarter. Wnba with another block. She is the only Mystic right now who is shining. But a lot of credit to the way Vegas has come out today in this must-win situation. Plum, first shot, misses everything. Bill Lambier wired for sound today.
There was a shot. Hey, they made some shots. They're missing some shots too, so we're doing a good job of keeping them perimeter with no wide open looks. The whole game, let's keep doing that. Their legs will get tired, no problem.
And Bill is understanding that Washington is going to hit shots, but trying to keep his team focused on how they will respond. And speaking of respond, keep in mind that Washington was the best road team in the WNBA this year. They can also absorb a run. And they are so mild in terms of their emotion and their temperament.
12 road wins, the best of the WNBA by far. Nobody else even had a winning record on the road other than Washington. They continue to throw the ball around. Washington has scored only once in the last 6+ minutes. Natasha Cloud with her 2nd turnover of the game. 8th turnover of the quarter for the Mystics. That shot does not count. But Plum was fouled. Tolliver picks it up.
She comes out of that as though she got hit in the face.
Kelsey Plum, 87% free throw shooter during the regular season. And always seems to be the first one in the gym shooting. Our series continues Tuesday. If Vegas wins this game, join us on ESPN2. And also a necessary game Thursday if we go to 5. ESPN2, your home for the WNBA semifinals. Vegas has a foul to give. Miesemann, guarded by Plum, goes right by her, and Miesemann finally is able to get a relatively easy score.
And that's where Washington has not made Vegas pay. I mean, Vegas changing their defensive scheme some and switching their guards onto their post. And you got to credit because Elena Deladon and Emma Miesemann aren't necessarily back to the basket style post. Nice rebound and put back by Swords.
Marilyn Swords in her 8th year out of Boston College. Shot clock is off. Mystics down 10. On the switch, Cloud kicks it to Miesemann. Deladon wide open 3. And the Las Vegas Aces down 1 after 1 quarter. Outscore the Mystics by 11 in the 2nd.
Brian, I talked to assistant coach Eric Tebow. He said that was our worst offensive quarter of the season. He mentioned the turnovers. They already have 9 more than they had in the last game. He mentioned rebounding. He mentioned we're putting them on the free throw line too much. Vegas 10 of 11 from the line in that first half.
Yeah, not a lot of positives for Washington. 1 win away from a 2nd straight finals appearance.
And that to me is what Washington has to take advantage of. When Plum is in the post trying to guard Washington's bigs, you got to score there.
And Latoya Sanders missed 5 of 6 shots in the first half, mid-range jumpers. She hit that first one over Plum. Hamby, her 2nd 3 of the game. Biggest lead now at 11. Washington has owned the 3rd quarter in the first 2 games of this series as Miesemann scores. In games 1 and 2, Washington outscored Vegas by 10 points. But that can't keep happening if you're Washington.
Size and Great court awareness on the pass.
Yeah, Plum's been terrific at the point. Cambage 6 of 7 from the floor. How about Liz Cambage? No rebounds in the first half. She averages over 8 per game, 7th in the league during the regular season. Hamby was called for the offensive foul, 3 on her.
And once again, we're seeing Hamby getting the start in the third quarter for Las Vegas.
Just like in game 2, starting in favor of rookie Jackie Young. Sanders with the miss. McBride able to bat it over to Plum. Vegas on the run. And then a stuff. Sanders got a hand on Hamby's attempt. Washington winning 2 of 3 from Vegas during the regular season, plus the first 2 games of this series. One game they lost to Vegas was one that Deladon missed. Cambage makes it look easy. She's 7 of 8 from the floor. Hamby just pounding Deladon. Shot clock at 5 for Tolliver. Should have shot it.
Boy, Vegas is locked in and locked down defensively and offensively.
Hamby's into double figures. Mike Tebow calls a timeout. A 10-point halftime lead is now up to 15.
Well, Plum actually stays with Emma, and what Washington has to do is allow that to develop and take advantage of that switch when Emma Mieseman has a smaller defender inside. But because they're able to contain with their bigs off of the drive, and they're matching up, not giving Emma those easy looks.
Washington, the best regular season record in the league. Clinched earlier than any other team, but they are up against it in front of a great crowd at Vegas. Boy, Elena Deladon almost single-handedly is keeping Washington within shouting distance.
Yeah, she missed a few shots, open shots. We expect her to make every one in that first half, but you can't forget who the MVP is. Got to get her in situations where she can score.
Wilson took Mieseman to the hole. Asia Wilson is 16. Elena Deladon has 18 to lead all scorers. Tolliver did start the second half in place of Ariel Atkins.
And that's the shot Washington's got to hit.
Deladon off the mark. Cambage rips it away from Sanders. That is Liz's first rebound of the game. Plum stop pop. And then Deladon couldn't hang on to it. Everything going Vegas's way. Asia Wilson. Mieseman wanting it with the matchup advantage over Plum, but they didn't get it down to her in time. Tolliver trying to shoot DC back into this. That's a long 2. Her first start since going out with the bone bruise and the strained MCL in her right knee in early August.
Vegas is just taking it to the Washington Mystics. And it's their inside attack and how well they are playing through Wilson. It's almost as though they have forced Emma Mieseman to focus on her defense. She has not been as big of a factor offensively. They have taken it at her.
Wilson and Cambage are combined 14 of 18 for 34 points. Will Lambier's team looking very different than we saw them on the East Coast. Ariel Powers back into the game. Around the horn to Deladon, but Hamby is a blanket. Somebody needs to shoot. That somebody is Cloud, and she left it short. Deladon going by Wilson, and the reverse won't fall.
And nobody home for the rebound.
Washington being out rebounded now by 8.
This is a smaller lineup for the Mystics with no Sanders on the floor.
Kick out to Wilson. Neesman able to sneak in. Powers is never shy about shooting. They need that. And you were mentioning it during the break off air that Washington needs somebody from the bench to contribute. Maybe Aerial Powers is that somebody.
Man, they need an X factor right now because as McBride drains a long ball,
They need some defense. Kayla McBride looking confident. 3 of 5 from 3. Cambage out on Tolliver, who gets it into Deladon. Elena getting back to the free throw line.
Aerial Powers giving offense to the Washington Mystics. She has this ability. She's explosive, so you try to prepare for her off of the bounce, and she turns around and runs into big bad Bill and says, oh, I'm sorry.
Washington's first free throw attempt since the first quarter. That is the YouTube TV Try It Free free throw. Watch WNBA games and 70+ live channels when you try YouTube TV for free at tvyoutube.com. Eric Bruton says that that free throw does not count. And Deladon tries again. 6 for 6 from the line for Elena. She cracks the 20-point mark. Nobody else on her team has more than 8. That's Tolliver.
This game is really about Vegas's defense, honestly, because it's forced Washington to get into one of their weaknesses, and that's been their transition deep. And they're already undersized, but when you give Cambage and Wilson a head of steam, and they can get position, and they can use that size in the half quarter on the go, it's just hard to keep up with.
Cambage, easy as can be after she batted it to herself. That last foul on Washington, by the way, on Aerial Powers, her first.
Elena Deladon wanted a push in the back.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, she wasn't happy. She thought Liz Cambage pushed her in the back on that last offensive rebound, so don't want to make the MVP mad.
How about driving on both Cambage and Wilson and scoring? But Washington's defense right now is non-existent.
And they're frustrated.
Cambage 9 of 10 from the floor. Powers, that's been well off.
Elena Deladon taking matters into her own hands. Nice pump fake. Look at the airtime over size. And then Liz just turns the corner. Nobody home, no help rotation. There's really no answer for Las Vegas on either end of the floor. But I know one thing, Washington's got to figure out what is going on with their offense, because to me, that's the key to their continuity.
Liz guarded by Tolliver. Jackie Young back into the game, has not played much. Neesman and Cambage hit the deck. Foul on the Mystics.
You have to expect Las Vegas to make this a physical game, because that is how they play.
Neesman just committed her 3rd foul on this play. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it looked like Liz Cambage got Neesman right there with an elbow to the back of the head. Officials missed that completely.
Wow, that's an egregious non-call. And a technical called on Mike Tebow, who was complaining to Cheryl Flores. He had reason to complain, and now Natasha Cloud goes over to try to calm him down.
Understandable. Liz Cambage got Emma Miesemann with an elbow right to her head.
McBride, who is a 91% free throw shooter, hits it. Let's go back.
Right here, a little bit of a wrap, and then right there. And she extended the arm straight all the way back. So it wasn't as though she was just trying to get post-up position. I mean, that's a foul.
Now, even without the elbow, I don't know how they could have called that a foul on Miesemann anyway. However, now, this is the biggest lead of the series for either team. It's an 18-point advantage for the Aces. Tolliver left open. Powers hustles to take it out of Cambage's hands. Splits. That is a tough shot for Powers.
Washington just looks out of sorts on the offensive end.
Belladon with the interception. That side of the floor cleared out momentarily for the MVP. Cloud left open. Short. Easy rebound for Liz.
And that's been a lot of situations with Washington where they've gotten some open looks that they were hitting in game 2, and even some in game 1 with Sanders, with Cloud, have not gone down tonight.
Washington only shooting 40% from the floor. Plum's first field goal. Now they're just resorting to taking threes. Washington led the league in points per game and field goal percentage, but they are struggling tonight. Tolliver finally gets one to fall. She's been a bright spot. She's hit 3 threes.
Vegas looks so exhausted right now. They put a lot of energy into the beginning of this third quarter, got a sizable lead.
Another assist for Plum, and an and-one opportunity for Young.
Emma hits the deck once again. Not a lot of force behind that, but I think she is just over getting pushed around by Cambage. It's frustrating to guard 6'8". Now we're looking at what Latoya Sanders has had to deal with, trying to guard.
The official's
Liz.
going over to look at the monitor, excuse me.
Nice cut by Jackie Young as Cloud is sucked in, concerned about Liz Cambage. That's created because of Cambage's activity. Now, the officials are coming over to have a talk with us. Basket is good, and then the officials are calling a loose ball foul on Liz Cambage. Which I did think there was some contact, not as much as we saw in the previous play by Liz Cambage. Right here. Keep your eye on the right side of your screen, and Cambage comes over and pushes Emma Miesemann out of position. That's where that foul was called.
So the foul was not on the shot, but on the extra push by Cambage, who sits down on the bench. Deladon out of the game for Washington. Hawkins, Tiana Hawkins, who was in the mix for 6th Player of the Year, getting the bucket. Kelsey Plum has had a resurrection in this playoff. Really coming to shine in the second half of the Chicago victory in all 3 games against Washington. Powers, good job to stop and let Wnba go by. Plum got a little bit too cute with that pass. trying to thread it into traffic, but boy, Kelsey Plum, she's got 9 assists today.
There used to be a time where Kelsey Plum could only make an impact on a game if she could put the ball in the basket. But how many other ways has she contributed to this team, both on the stat sheet and not? A lot of it with her attitude.
Hawkins bottled up. That left Powers free. Ariel Powers now into double figures, joining Tolliver and Deladon for Washington. Shot clock off, end of the third quarter. Plum fouled by Atkins. Washington did have a foul to give, so 5.2 seconds left to shoot as Tamara Young inbounds. Plum guarded by Cloud, who got her on the way up. Kelsey Plum playing a very smart ball game.
Yeah, she is, because Washington, last thing they wanted to do here was foul her on the way up.
Yep, got her on the shooting list. We invite you to check out ESPN's women's basketball podcast, Around the Rim, with LaChina Robinson. New episodes weekly on the ESPN app or Apple Podcast as we get into the thick of the semifinal series.
We'll have a new episode up next week. We know, we heard the complaints.
No complaints. We just wait for the finals. Las Vegas outscored Washington by 7 in the third quarter. They are on a roll. Everybody contributing. The Aces up big.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, joined by Aces head coach Bill Lambier. Coach, what's been different about the defense tonight to put your team in a much better position to win?
We're more aggressive on the perimeter.
And how has the success controlling the game on that end allowed the offense to open up?
Well, I think we're inside the game. Our inside game is doing very well right now. We're going to continue to pound inside. We just got to stop the dumb turnovers.
Thank you, Coach.
Vegas shooting 55% from the floor as they outscored Washington by 7 in the third quarter. The first time they've outscored Washington in the third in this series. And Hamby gets called for another foul away from the action. Pam Ward, LaChina Robinson, and Kim Adams joining you from a rockin' Mandalay Bay Arena.
This place is loud. The crowd is engaged. They have been waiting for their Aces to return home.
They beat Chicago as Cambage comes back in, and that thrilling shot by Hamby, but that was over at the Thomas and Mack Center on the campus of UNLV. So this is the first time they've had a playoff game in this building, and it really is one of the bigger home court advantages in the league. Ariel Powers has done a good job off the bench of forcing some action.
Well, because Ariel Powers has the ability to just put a lot of pressure on the defense. And when you look at Washington's style, for the most part, they are a spread. They like to operate in space. And Vegas hasn't given them a lot of that space. Only in places where they wanted to. Where they've given them opportunities is Latoya Sanders. She hasn't hit shots. They've given Cloud some space. She hasn't hit shots. Very different from game 2, and Emma Mieseman as well. Vegas has made this a physical game.
Mieseman with only 6 points tonight, 3 of 7 from the floor, after she scored 27 and 30 respectively in the first 2 games. Powers has scored Washington's last 9 points. Elena Deladon on the bench, speaking with Eric Thibault, the associate head coach, Mike Thibault's son. Cambage and Sanders mixing it up a little bit. A rare rebound for Washington. They only got 7 rebounds between the second and third quarters combined. There's an easy one for Liz.
Mike Thibault believes that when you're open, take the shot. And so Powers does have the green light. And in particular right now in this lineup without Elena Deladon on the floor.
Ariel Atkins has 4 fouls now. Atkins just 3 points. And Atkins, and you'd mentioned this earlier, Atkins was a key for Washington to get to the finals last year, but she is not playing up to that caliber so far in the semifinals.
Yeah, she averaged 14 points per game last year in their run to the finals, 4 rebounds.
As a rookie. Wnba with the follow. Wnba 6 rebounds since halftime. She had 0 in the first half.
And look at, there's the switch, the 3-person switch.
Tolliver, good look, good result. Tolliver gave a little bit of a nudge to Wnba on the way by. Wnba embellished it a little bit, but nothing was called. Just a little kind of how you doing, I'm here nudge.
Yeah, you know, Pam, how I beat you up.
Yeah, you know. Now Liz goes back to the free throw line. Wnba has been a nightmare for Washington in this series. 19 points in the first game, 23 in the second game, and she's sitting on 22 right now.
She's a handful, and she moved so well at 6'8". She's got a little bit more of an attitude in this game. She told us that she felt like in game 1 she played soft. And one thing that's hard for bigs, and this is what Liz was mentioning to us, is to play against teams that have smaller posts. Number 1, she feels like she's so big she can't assert herself aggressively or she'll get called for an offensive foul. But also, she's challenged in having to get out of the paint and defend shooters. It's outside of her comfort zone.
Another turnover for Washington. 5 turnovers now, alone for Ariel Atkins.
Yeah, this is the game that Atkins would like to soon forget.
Boy, Wnba is still working hard. So is Sanders. Asia. Yes. Hawkins called for the foul.
Asia Wilson just makes up her mind right here that she's going to get to the rim. I thought the foul occurred before she started into her shot, but the officials will call continuation on that. It's not about when the foul occurs, but when the official calls it.
So the first 2 games of this series, the big 2, really, Miesemann and Deladon, outshining Wilson and Wnba. That is not the story tonight. Plum with the pick. Deladon rebound and saved it. Tolliver, little fadeaway with Wnba closing.
If you're Washington, you're trying to get something that looks like confidence on the offensive end. You're trying to get a couple of stops that you can build some kind of momentum and just get a string of good plays going, because everything has gone Vegas's way in the second half.
If this holds, we will be back here Tuesday night. Powers left wide open.
And Vegas is going to give her that shot.
Yep.
It's a lower percentage shot than allowing Deladon to have her way.
Powers with the foul on Plum. Or not the, no foul, excuse me, the block on Plum. Plum looking for the foul, but the block was clean.
And she's upset. Teammates having to come over and calm her down. She thought Cloud got her with the leg. I can see that.
There was definitely contact between Plum and...
But we also know that Plum likes to initiate some contact. But you're taught to do that.
Yeah, we talked about this, ultra competitive. Whenever you come in, whenever we come in early, Plum is always out there shooting, it seems. It seems like she's the first one out there. She does kind of like a Steph Curry warm-up before every game with her shot. And she has made the most of getting the opportunity to play point for the Aces.
This is nothing like the organized, intentional offense that we're used to seeing from Washington. This is let Aerial Powers kind of figure out what she can do.
Cloud's first made field goal of the game. She had missed her first 5 shots. Cambage posting up now against Miesemann. Wilson and Deladon, 2 of the absolute best in this game. Deladon, an improved defender. Good job that time. Messi. Vegas up 16. Game 4 looming on Tuesday.
The WNBA Playoffs 2019 is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing.
A telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
We need to be locked in defensively, and we need to give them one shot. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a really good chance.
Well, you've done that, Kelsey Plum, and the Las Vegas Aces. That defensive identity has paid off against the best offensive team in the league this season. They have switched. They have rotated. They have taken everything that Washington wants to do offensively away from them, including their aggressiveness off of the bounce that we saw work so well with Cloud and others in Game 2. They are +8 on the glass. And just asserted themselves as the more physical team in this matchup.
Cambage shuffled her feet on her way to the basket and then made one of her classic Liz faces coming back.
Liz right here trying to get a score, and she absolutely did. But you see how she's leading with those elbows, and Emma Miesemann is now very weary, understandably.
Deladon, second chance for Washington. Tolliver steps through, gives it to Emma.
Tolliver looking for a foul. We've seen that face a lot on Washington Mystics.
Asia double teamed. Cambage, a rare miss for her.
That's another factor for Washington. You know, we've talked in this series about Christy Tolliver and her knee injury. She is the player where when things are going well for them, she's manufacturing the offense. She's going off of pick and rolls, and you can tell that she is laboring, still not pushing off, not able to get air under her passes. She hit a couple of shots, but that's hurting them. Something she is just not herself.
Cambage with the turnaround. She is 11 of 14 from the floor. 26 for Liz. Deladon just 6 points in the second half. For all the latest things on everything on the WNBA playoffs, including scores, news, and highlights, get the WNBA app. Download for free today from your app store. Kelly Schumacher-Raymond and Vicki Johnson flanking Bill Lambier, his staff.
Yeah, I really love that Bill gives former WNBA players an opportunity. Rusha Brown works in their front office and has 2 former players on his coaching staff.
Cambage has just tied her season high with 28 points. There are a few more animated players in this league than Cambage.
Well, she just has the matchup advantage as she gives them the finger wag and the... And she deserves that because with 28 points, 12 from 15, she's only missed 3 shots. She's been dominant.
Timeout, Vegas in control.
Up in about 15 minutes, Pam, LaChina, and Kim.
Thank you very much. Sports Center tonight, after Sunday Night Baseball, Kenny Mayne and John Anderson. Week 3 in the NFL. The Flyers created their mascot. That's a huge hit. That's gritty. And the Cubs' last stand. Sports Center after Phil's Indians on ESPN and the ESPN app. What a game for the Aces, and a game they had to win. We will be back here on Tuesday night. Mike Tebow has cleared his bench. Deladon out, Nieseman out. First time we have seen Hines Allen in this series. Walker Kimbrough back in. Is Deladon and Tolliver, two good friends, talking things over, trying to make things different on Tuesday night, where Vegas will try to even this series. Powers fouled by Swords to go to the line. Ariel Powers has done some good things off the bench.
Something I keep going back to is that Vegas did not play terrible basketball in game 1 or 2. I mean, they were in it.
Yeah.
And did a lot of really good things.
WNBA playoffs continue next on ESPN2 as the Sparks host the Connecticut Sun in Long Beach. Go to WNBA.com or the WNBA app for more. And the if necessary game 4 as the Powers misses them both. It is necessary here. We will see you Tuesday night. It's just a matter of what time it will be. That will depend on what happens in our nightcap of the doubleheader between LA and Connecticut. Swords called for the offensive foul. I don't know about you, China, but I'm surprised that I thought that LA had a really good chance to win that series, and at least we get a split in Connecticut, but the Sun looked great in game 2.
And you had a good reason to believe that when you look at the kind of momentum that LA was playing with and their matchups with Connecticut. It was exciting to think about, but we are watching a Connecticut Sun team that has, number one, taken offense to everyone coming up with their own reasons why they had not won in the past, whether it's an experience or they don't have the Olympians. They said it's time up for the excuses, and they are looking to do something very special with a chance to close out, go to the finals today in LA.
Brianna Hawkins underneath. What is it? The campaign is disrespect. And the CT for Connecticut is highlighted.
I think I was on one of those videos.
Yeah, I believe your voice might be on there somewhere.
Can I tell you, Pam, they really had to dig back to June to find that, which is kind of petty.
And they did have some rough moments. They got off to a great start. They lost to Washington by 43. We witnessed that.
Yes, we did.
It was awful. And now look where they are. Credit to Kurt Miller and to the players for totally flipping that.
Kurt's done a great job. Use whatever motivation he had to. I loved it. I thought it was great.
And the Las Vegas Aces, who trailed by 1 after 1 quarter. Since then, they have owned the Mystics.
I really love the way that Vegas has played. Even in the games they lost, they're sticking to their identity. And they're paint scoring, using their bigs, pushing the ball. And I'm telling you, that changed defensively and how they played switches. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough hits one from the corner, but that gave them some confidence in how they could take away Emma Nieseman, and they've been able to take away Elena Deladon.
Nieseman just 6 points. Timeout.
Welcome back to Vegas, where the Aces have been dominant, and it has everything to do with the play of Elizabeth Cambage. More focused in her finishes on the offensive end, using that 6'8" size and really being physically intimidated. We've seen a couple cheap elbows here and there, but Liz is playing what she feels like is her style of game. It's up to the official to officiate, but meanwhile, she's getting busy with high percentage shots in the lane, 44 points in the paint for the Aces. And look at these numbers for Liz Cambage. She has showed up, and more importantly than these numbers is her defense, which was improved. She was more active, and with the new scheme of Vegas, it took some of the pressure off of her when we saw her leaving shooters open in game 2.
Cambage with 28. She and Asia Wilson have combined for 49 points. The one thing Liz won't get in this game is a double-double. She had double-doubles in all 4 career playoff games, 1 last year with Dallas, and 3 so far coming in, but I'm sure she would take the win over a double-double.
Well, in all season, we knew that a team with size could be a problem for Washington. Phoenix was. Brittany Griner is... Sydney Colson is off and Jackie Young gets the rebound, but Brittany Griner was a problem with her size against the smaller Washington lineup. And Vegas is finding that same success. It's just not a good matchup for Washington if they are not hitting shots.
Washington only lost 8 games in the regular season. They lost twice to Phoenix.
And I still say that in games 1 or 2 and 2, we didn't see long stretches of Washington playing the type of offense we saw them playing. Now, yes, they were highly efficient and got open shots, but the involvement of Deladon, the floor spacing, the paint, the bench points, the balance, all of that has to show up because this Vegas Aces team has their defense working and their transition game moving.
Washington set a WNBA record with the best offensive rating ever for a regular season. They're going to get out of here shooting 39% and only scoring 75 points. Bill Lambert's team for the last 3 quarters dominated the Mystics. We will see you on Tuesday night. Another electric night from Liz Cambage, Elena Deladon doing her best, but it was just too much Vegas on both ends of the floor. Kelsey Plum flourishing as the starting point guard for this team. Washington still 1 win away from the finals, but Vegas can tie it up with the win on Tuesday and send us back to Washington on Thursday.